Hello and welcome to another episode of Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 7, Episode 19. Hello there, and how are you today? I hope you've had a good week since our last live show. Today we've got quite a lot to fit in, so we're going to crack on with it because we're going to be putting back together a telephone 232 that I disassembled a while back for restoration. But before we start, as usual, if you've got any questions or there's anything that you want to know about it, if you're watching live, get in the chat, and if you're not watching live, then get in touch with us via the contact form you'll find on our website, which is here at andyshed.coldpress.net. That's andyshed.coldpress.net. Okay, so without further ado, we'll get on with it, shall we? So here it is. This is what we've got. This is basically the bits and things. And the first thing that I'm doing, I've got an old toothbrush or something similar to that here, and I've got some electrical contact cleaner. This is great stuff. Came out of the pound shop, this. And it says protects and cleans electrical contacts, as you can see on it there near the bottom. Drives out damp. It's not like WD-40, it's something else. This, it smells different, but it is really good. If you've got a bit of verdigris on electrical contacts, this is really good for cleaning them up. You just spray a bit on anything that's got a verdigris on, like these nuts and bolts had here, and then just give them a bit of a scrub. I'd already done these before I came on just to try it, and they are much better when you scrub them. Like that. I just need to get a bit of paper, a bit of kitchen roll or something. That's it, I'm back. And now with the kitchen roll, you just want to wipe off any excess that's got on there. And with most British telephones, it's very handy because underneath you've got a kind of wiring diagram printed on. I don't know if you can see that. I will try and hold that in such a way that the light doesn't swamp it. If you want to get a screen grab of that, if you two are putting together a 232. So I'm going to try and put it all together this evening, but I might not do the actual joining up of the wires today. Right, so refocus on my desk. So here we are, and I'm going to be doing this upside down as you look at it, because unlike the people that used to be on Blue Peter, I can't do stuff upside down. I have to do it the right way up for me. So you're going to be seeing it wrong way up because I'm at the top of your image, as you can see by my hands there. Now, you don't actually do much of this on the base of the phone. You do most of it inside the top here, and I'm just trying to remember how it all goes together. One thing that we have is this thing that fits on, that has to fit on the top of there like that, and we also have this that fits on. So I'm just now trying to remember how that goes in there. So this piece here goes inside here like so, I believe. Now you can put that in either way around, but I think that way would interfere with the dial when you put the dial in. So I'm reckoning it must be that way. So that goes that way around. Then this goes on the top, like so. And these bits, this one has kind of degraded somehow. And I've been told it's because they're not made out of Bakelite, these bits. They're made out of some other early form of plastic, and it warps and things. And as you can see, that one has warped. It's not straight anymore. But it's good enough, I think, that we can reuse it. So that goes on there. Through the middle of all that lot goes this, which is the thing your receiver rests on. That goes through the middle of all that, and I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to put that on. But of course, before that, there's a couple of screws that fit through those two holes there in this top piece, that then engaging those two holes that are actually on that bit inside, so they kind of clamp together on the main bit of the case. And the two screws I've got are here, and again you can see how filthy they are with verdigris. Now one of those has got two washers on, I've just noticed, and the other hasn't got any. Sort of split washers. That's why one looks thicker than the other. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to try and get those split washers off and put one on each, because I'm sure that's how they should be. So let's give this a bit of a clean. One of the washers has now come loose. I can put that on the deck there. Some dropping bits. Clean of the threads now. So that is now relatively clean. That has still got a split washer on it, so I need to put that in there with the split washer underneath it, through there, but it doesn't attach to that, but it does attach into this. So I hold that up under there like so, put that on there like so, and you should be able to start screwing all that together like that. So there we are. Now, where did I put the other one? Put the other one on the desk somewhere, didn't I? Oh, it rolled off onto my keyboard. It's there. So as you can see, it's filthy dirty. Got a bit of verdigris on it. This won't polish it doing this, but it will remove some of the sort of white powder and verdigris that's on it. White powder, green powder. Verdigris is normally green. And this was the one that hadn't got the little split washer on this one. This one hasn't got the washer on it. And I think there should be one washer on each. Nearly dropped it, but not quite. Right, that looks a bit better. So I'll put a washer on that one, and it's just a little round split washer that I'm putting on, and then that goes on there. Push the bit up inside so the screw stands up on the top, and you can just start it off with your fingers. And then just get a little flat bladed screwdriver, and you can start to lock it down like so. Okay, and then this will go through the whole lot on the inside. So there it is, and I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to put these in. It just drops in through all that. And it drops in there. But the key part about this is there's a spring that's got to go in here. Don't you can see up in there? So before you put this all the way in, you've got to put the spring in. So I will now find the spring. It's quite a big spring, although it's not a massively strong spring. Here it is, and that has to go in and be compressed in that little thing in there. So you hold that way up, take this out again a minute, put the spring in there. Oh, and it comes out the top, the spring, right, that's fine then. So you probably can just drop the spring in from the top, yeah, and it won't go right through. It gets retained in a little thing in here. Okay, so the spring is now in there. You can now drop this in, making sure the pointy end of this goes down the middle of the spring. Okay, that takes a bit of getting in, and then you see it. Can you see it coming through the bottom of there? And that makes it springy. And then there's a little circlip sort of thing that goes on the bottom of there, because there's a little bit machined into this brass bit on here, and then you can just put like a little circlip thing around it to hold it, which I should have somewhere. So let's have a look in my bag of bits to see if I've got that little clip. So I think we'll have to tip all my bag of bits out now to find that. Yeah, I think that's it there. So it's not a circlip thing exactly, but that's the thing we're looking for, that. Okay? And that fits on the recess of that there, like that, just clips on. And then that stops that springing all the way out. Okay? So that's back together. So that is a good start, isn't it? Now we've got this, which we took out. This is an induction coil and a set of spring-loaded contacts, and this has got various electrical connections on that are quite dirty. So I'm just going to take a bit of time now, just to try and clean up these, and I don't really want to get this stuff on this coil, but I do want to get it on the contacts and things. It really is marvellous. It cleans everything. And also, this is single cord wire. This, which is why you can sort of move it and it stays in the position you put it in. So I'm being careful because I'm a bit worried about breaking these. I don't really want to have to break them. I have to resolder these. So I am being super careful with this. With regard to what's what in these connectors. So I'm going to put this just down on the desk here now and just have a rub at the last couple of these. And then there's this, and this thing here, this set of contacts here is what is pushed open by that switch that we've just assembled. So we'll have a little clean of these contacts, being very careful here not to bend anything in amongst these. Of course I've got contact cleaner all over the shop here. Then we've got to look at putting this back together. Now, where this device goes, it's quite straightforward. It bolts on there. There's only one way it can, oh no, there's two ways it can go actually. It could go that way, or it can go that way, but if it went that way to be beyond the base of the phone, so it must have to go that way so the base will fit on. So this induction coil has to go that way. I've got it there, and I'm now looking for two lightly screws to hold it all in, and there's basically only two in amongst all that lot, and there, and here they are. These are the two screws that have to hold in your induction coil. So there's one, and there's two, and this now is where you find a problem, because you're now looking at all these screw terminals, and because we've put this in already and not reassembled the screw terminals on it, which are these things here, we might have to just take that bit out again, but it's no great shakes actually, I don't think, because we can just take that clip off again, that clip there, like that, and then your plunger drops out there, you can take out these two screws again and it should all fall apart. There we go, plump, and it's dropped out nicely. Right, so now we've got to look at this, and on the bottom of this, on this, yeah, well, it's the top actually because it goes that way up in the phone. You see you've got these that have got square heads. These go in there and sit in that plastic or Bakelite bit, and you should have got one of those, I believe, to go in every hole. And then there's a couple more around this side. So they're like that. Now you've got to sort out nuts and things. So there's a couple of little nuts. And some of these nuts are thicker than others. So that's a thin one. So let's get them all sorted out by type if we can. So these, I'm putting in a line. Are all the thick ones, and the reason you've got so many is because one goes in to hold these terminals in. So you've got all of them, and then you've got washers as well. And let's see how many washers we've got. Looks like we're going to have roughly 1 for every nut and a few more besides. So I would say there's probably supposed to be 2 on each. And the question is, should you put a washer on here before you put a nut on? And I think judging by witness marks on the bottom of these, the answer to that is probably yes. If I drop a washer on, I can see witness marks on the plastic where that had been, so I think it goes washer. Nut. on each one. So that at least makes a start on it all. I'm just doing all these finger tight for now. Talk about yourselves for a moment while I do this. And what I did to clean up all these little bolts and nuts and washers and things, I put them all in a little polythene bag, and I squirted some of this stuff into the bag, and then just shook it up, and then just let them soaking in the bag for a bit, and I found that worked quite well. The bag expanded though, I guess, as this turned to a gas. The bag expanded, so if you do it in a sealed bag, be careful. You might have to let some of the gas out, otherwise it might go pop. That's that thin one. So yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I've halted it too low down for you to be able to see, but sort of holding these things down, these square-headed things down, so that, I suppose they're square-headed bolts really, aren't they? So they can't rotate because they're sort of in with the moulded plastic there, you see. So they can't rotate when they're held down. They're pushed down like that, and then you can screw a nut up underneath. And I'm not sure I'm doing this the right way around. I'm not sure there should be a washer under these, but good practice tells me that when you put your metal onto something that's plastic, if you do these nuts up, they can eat into the plastic if you don't put a washer underneath them. So good practice tells me there should be a washer underneath them to stop them. If you do them up, if you were to over tighten them, they could eat into the plastic. So good practice tells me there should be a washer underneath. Somebody somewhere that restores telephones will probably say, no, there shouldn't be a washer underneath. That's totally wrong. There should be two washers, then another nut. It should be a nut, two washers, then another nut. But I'm putting a washer underneath, and if it means I need to put some extra washers on, then so be it. Because good practice tells me there should be a washer on the bottom of there to stop the nut chewing up the Bakelite or plastic. I'm not sure this bit is Bakelite. It might be some other kind of plastic. So they just go onto there like that. And because we've now fitted these, all the rest I can actually put in once the phone is back together, because all the rest I can get from the bottom, sort of thing. So they're all on now, so I'll now put that lot back together again. So yes, here's what I did before. I put that in there like that. That goes on there like that, and then you just have to try and screw these in to hold it all together. Like that. Drop that spring in from the top like that. Put the rest for your handset in. And that, you have to wiggle that about a bit to get it to go in sometimes. And it was a bit. Yeah, and that isn't all a bit loose at the minute. I think that needs tightening up some more. It's not perfect because, I say, this bit is warped, but that now goes in there, that goes in there. That should, with a bit of assistance, push down properly. Yeah, that's it. Put that little clip thing on there, just push it down and then put that clip on. If you don't lose it up inside the phone like I did. Just goes on there like that, that holds it all together. So that's that back in place. Now the next thing to worry about is this, which basically has to go on there. But it actually goes that way up with all the connections coming out of the top of it, because see these things here, they are shaped. I don't know if you can see that. Like this. See these copper things, they are shaped, and that outer end, that end where they're sort of apart more, that is the end that this plunger thing engages with. So it pushes them apart like that. So it goes that way up. And it fits onto a plastic mount thing there. And the way it fits is there's a square nut on here. Can you see that? There's a square nut on there. You take that square one off. Don't undo these two, otherwise a whole bag of mashings will fall apart. Just off the square, off the middle there. That square one off the middle, and push that middle one out. Okay. Then you can put this in place. Then the two little ones will fit through blind holes, and that screw will then push back in. But you don't want that screw really to push back in, because if you push that middle screw out again, the square nut again fits in a sort of square recess on the back of there. So with a bit of fiddling about, you should be able to line it up in such a way that you can put it back together. And again, we should probably have done this before we put this bit with all the terminals on back in the phone. So this bit I've just put back in, that I took out because I'd not put all those nuts and bolts on, and I've just put it back in. I should probably have taken it out again to put this on, but this is me, you see, having disassembled this a few months ago, not being able to remember exactly the order I did it in. But that's it, it's back on now with a bit of jiggery pokery. That would have been a lot easier if I'd put that on that terminal block before I'd put the terminal block in the phone. Now when I press the handset rest down, you'll see those contacts open. If I can get that under the camera. Can you see that opening those? They don't move a massive amount, but they do move. Watch. So that's opening those. Okay. So that's in. So I've got all these nuts and bolts and things still to put in to wire up all these contacts and things, and I can do that with the wiring diagram that I've got, which is on the base of there. So, but I'm not going to do that today. All I'm going to do today is just assemble the basics of it. So the next thing now is the dial, and here's the dial. I've already been through the dial and sort of serviced the dial and that. Now on the back of the dial are three little things, here, here and here. Two of them have a little pip on them, and one of them has a little screw in it. Take the screw out, the one that has the screw in, because what you're going to do, and the screw, when you look at the dial, the screw is kind of in the bottom one. What you have to do with the dial, you'll see fancy shaped cutouts here. What you have to do is put the dial in and then turn it to lock it in place. So the dial, if the dial sits like that normally, you have to sort of put it in at that angle. So it sits like that normally, you put it in a bit like that, and there's only one way it will go in and sit flush, sort of thing. You put it in like that and lock it into place by turning it like that. And when you lock that into place by turning it, that screw that you took out of that bottom mounting of the dial now refits through this hole in the Bakelite case here. So you just pop that in there, you see, put it in, and that should, with a little bit of jiggery pokery of the dial, that should fit and hold everything. You have to wiggle it about a bit to get it to go all the way in, but there you go, it's all the way home now. So that is the dial back in place. So apart from doing the wiring, which we'll do next time, that is now basically all back together, and that's all that's to one of these phones. So next time we will do the wiring, but for now we'll just put it on the base. Now there are should be two retained screws in the base on these. This has only got one, I need to get one, but I'm going to that on there like so, and let's say there's only one screw in this, it should be two, but that retained screw then just screws up like so, and there you have it, the phone reassembled. And then here's a handset. Put your handset on. And that pushes the switch up down. So there you have it, all reassembled except for the actual wiring up bit, which is why I've got various bits and pieces left over. And these are all the bits I've got left. That, I think, is a red herring. That's like a crosshead screw that's dropped out from somewhere, but I think that was just randomly inside the phone, because I don't think they had crosshead screws when they made these. And that problem I've got here, now that is, yeah, yeah, maybe it needs a little bit of more lubrication on this mechanism, but it is, you have to put it down firmly, otherwise it doesn't push down as it necessarily should. But it's going better now. Now I've done it a few times, it's going better. So what I'm now going to do is put all the little screws and that I haven't used until I do the wiring back in this little bag, so I don't lose them. So all these little screws, well, not screws actually, but they're mainly just sort of washers and nuts now. And one tag that came off from somewhere, and I can't remember where that dropped off from, but we'll find it as we carry on. So I've got all of those. That I'm putting back in the bag so I don't lose them. And this is a very good time to remind you once again that if you've enjoyed this video, then remember to give us a like and give us a subscribe, and if you're watching this on the library platform, why not tip us some of those library credits as well that you've probably been accruing, because even though you might not be able to do much with the library credits, we can. So it's a good way of supporting us that way if you want to do it that way. You can also support us on Patreon. It's at patreon.com/Andy's Shed. But the best thing you can do, really the best thing you can do, is like and subscribe, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, because once we get to 1,000 subscribers, they'll let us run adverts and make some money that way. One other thing that's left to put on, of course, is this for the dial. This is the wiring harness for the dial that basically goes between the dial and that block, that terminal block inside. So we'll install this next time as well. So next time we'll be doing the wiring of the 232. But all that remains to be said for me for now is thanks once again for watching, and we will see you next time. Okay, thanks very much. Bye for now.